I know that Ben's book is really amazing. Reminded me of some of the early Zen readings I did,
Yeah.
right? Because of the short stories, the Zen short stories, and the Thousand Gates and those kinds of things. Yeah, it's really impacted me. One thing he said in there that I wanted to just ask you about, or get your impression on, that has stuck with me was one section where he talks about um, uh, 4 ounces being enough to deflect 1,000-pound rock or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So that really, this is, it's kind of, it's the type of pressure we want to engage with somebody else's pressure on. So you can't push directly on 1,000-pound boulder, but if you, I mean, there's ways. So this is intended to be taking advantage of things like a moving sphere and things like that. So it's not a static 4 ounces can overcome 10,000 pounds or 1,000 pounds, but it's a way of kind of engaging with kind of energy directed at your center, and by turning it, the point of turn becomes the point of turn, that contact point, Randall, that tangent, that point is the 4 ounces deflecting the 10,000 pounds. So that the.
Would you say that again, Bill? Would you please say that again?
So imagine that there's a vector coming into you right on your center, pushing on you. And if I can't really deal with it by pushing back or resisting it somehow, but I can deal with it if I start turning, and so that the push kind of goes off my center. And so if the push, so imagine your body is like I'm going to put myself on, just spotlight myself for a sec so people can see this a little bit. So if I am like, imagine you're like a beach ball and somebody's pushing right onto you, okay? And it's a 10,000 pound push on the beach ball. All the beach ball has to do is start rotating at the point of contact. The point of contact becomes a tangent so the point of contact can stay very light and it can be moved. And this is the idea of deflecting that strong energy. So
the energy that it seems like that translates the energy coming at you into the energy coming from you, similar to like maybe a spaceship using a planet to slingshot itself around.
A little bit like that. Another way I would say too is I think of a canoe on a river, like when you come down, and if you hit that, if a canoe hits that rock broadside in a river, it's just going to crumple. Okay. Right. If it can hit it and turn, the point of contact of the turn, that is the deflection point, and keeping that point at this kind of very light kind of touch.
Right.
What this is intended to try to promote in students and people practicing is a lightness of touch, and not and this shows up in things like push hands and things like this. But this 4 ounces deflecting 1,000 pounds is it's an encouragement against just direct resistance, and it encourages connecting, listening, and yielding with extreme articulation and intelligence. And to be able to do that, you can even, I mean, it's what bullfighters do. I mean, if a bullfighter is going to just try to stand off with a bull, he's going to get plowed over. She's going to get plowed over. But if they turn at the moment where the contact is about to be made, that's the 4 ounce deflection point. That's the idea. That's the idea. A little bit.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You.
Yeah. So hi everybody. And I know that. Good morning. So I just was asking Randall if he had some books, and we've been talking a little bit about this with some of us about, you know, I want to read about Tai Chi. I want to understand Taoism a little bit more. And so just two books that are really good. So this one, something like this. This is not a superior. It's not so great a translation in my opinion. It's one I just have, and I had it handy, so I picked it up this morning. But the Tao Te Ching is really the Bible of Taoism. It's the beginning. It's the kind of the origin story of what Taoism means. And I would say look in there as a beginning point. And then if you want to relate that to how is Tai Chi a Taoist practice, get this guy going, okay? And then
Who is that author?
I'm sorry, this is Ben Lowe.
Oh,
This
okay.
is my teacher, Ben Lowe. And I've sent this on the reference. I've sent everybody a list of references. You have this. This is Ben's book. And this is not, it's not really ancient literature, Ben's book. It's more the last 200 or so years. The Tao Te Ching is a very ancient text. So these two things are, but Tai Chi is trying to use Taoist principles to look at life, look at health and things like that. So, and also with martially to kind of how do we kind of work with it. I think I've told you the little story about Sun Tzu, the art of war, and his 3 great precepts is when my opponent attacks, I retreat. And when my opponent retreats, I attack. And when my opponent falls asleep, that's when I kill him. Okay. And basically this is just it. This is again, like we were talking about with Randall, this is staying connected with that 4 ounces of pressure, and just being able to connect. Not only somebody's retreating, you want to stay right with them. It's where we have gaps that we can't account for what our opponent's doing. We lose the ability to listen to them and to sense what's going on. So this is one of the ideas of Tai Chi too. Okay, I guess I'm recording, so all right. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that about the books and things like that, if that's an interest of yours. I want to work on the spinal Qigong today and a couple parts of it. And the very first part I want to address is at the beginning when we're preparing to practice, and where we're just standing in Wu Chi. And I know for myself, speaking from my own personal experience, that I'm often come to practice with kind of a agitated mind. And so how do I start slowing down the speed of my mind, my brain? And one of the very first thing I would say is just start in training your mind on the speed of your breath. So instead of buzzing real fast, see if you can just calm your whole system down. And slowing your system down is going to be useful on a variety of levels for Tai Chi, but also the meditative practices, using your awareness, things like that. So I think I'm going to ask, I think Allie and Felix both are here today.
Yay.
Yes, we are, Bill.
Yay.
Yes, we are, Bill.
Allie, are you able to? Oh, so Allie, are you able to help today, or should I just ask Felix?
What's going on with her?
She's with her mother-in-law.
Oh, all right.
And so I don't know if that's going to
So I can totally help. I just have to stay on mute because I've got a lot of background noise due to my mother-in-law. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I can help on mute. I can hear you well. I've got my earphones in.
Great, okay. So maybe you can face me and Felix can act as off to one side or the other. Felix, if you give the side view and Allie can give the straight shot. So let's start with the spinal qigong, everybody. And so Felix, you may have to adjust your camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put everybody on mute if you're going to be sass talking me like that. Okay. So just settle your body. I want to just work with spinal qigong. We'll take 20 minutes or so and just kind of review this. A couple things. So just, I always think, what's the primary thing I have to do when I'm standing up like this? In I would say, connect with your zongding. So just be upright, you know. So that pull that goes through your body, you kind of can attend to that. Is it upright? Am I leaning? You can ask yourself those questions. And then another thing I think about is, what is the quality in my hands? Is the energy extending all the way to my fingertips? And really let that happen as well. So by letting the energy extend to your fingertips, the whole body starts getting, the fingertips kind of become a sign that the energy is spreading continuously through the void of the body. And that should be another kind of quality. Of course, what we just talked about, connecting your mind and training your mind and training your awareness just on the speed of the breath, so very relaxed. You get to slow down. We get to put all our little projects and other intentions on hold for the next 40 minutes or so. And just let your mind slow down. And I would say this is the beginning of just disarmament, just disarming your whole body and letting that tension just flow out of your body. Just relaxing. Think of a loving presence like your mother or somebody who you're very warm with, just holding their hand on your heart or your chest, letting that kind of relax you and connect you. And that the shoulders on your back are round and open, that the neck is open, the head top is suspended. The tongue is touching the palate. The breath is easy and light and continuous, deep, smooth. Cultivate these qualities. This disarmament, slowing the mind down. This is the way to begin to bring the body in harmony. The awareness can do this. You sink out of your analytical mind and into the automatic brain, the brain that will just, its sole job is to keep us alive, to provide homeostasis for our system. Trust it. It's your friend. The whole body kind of entrained together with this. So we're going to just ride the momentum of the breath. And as we exhale on the next exhalation, just sink down. Feel your fingertips sink below the feet. You can follow Felix. Sink down. Connect under your feet. And then naturally she'll pull up with the inhalation, pulling the energy up the back, to to the neck, up to the head top, then down the front of the body. And then the body is going to move right in time with the breath. It's going to be continuously moving. The body doesn't stop. There's this slow lengthening out. And then the slow condensing and compression. So part of your job is to put a little part of your witnessing self into the issue of, is my body always moving? Is it moving together? Where am I stopping? And to try to find a way to encourage this continuous motion throughout the body. First place I think to look at it is in the ankles, the streaming up quality through the ankles. And this is silk reeling. This is the beauty and the sincerity and the continuous quality of reeling silk out of a cocoon. We want to reel the energy up and down our body with the same level of smoothness. So feel it rise up. Find a speed that feels right. Too fast is a problem. Too slow is a problem. So find something that feels right. Let the gaze be quiet. And don't worry too much about the hands. Think about the whole body. The hands are kind of at the end of the cycle. The hands are the tool of the legs and the torso. Make your hands wave, because what wave you're putting through the tissue of your legs and your torso. And this first one is just to get the mind, get the awareness to travel on the surface of the body to awaken the Wei Qi. And what do we mean by that? We just mean that to engage the whole body, you know, in the funny places, in the armpits, behind your knees, up on the insides of your legs, so that the body is awake everywhere. I always think that it's where your awareness goes quiet or out of slack. That's a place to pay attention. So from really first the wrist, leading from the wrists up to the shoulder, and then at the shoulders, extending with the fingertips up to the back of the head, up to the top of the head. The wrists and the fingers show where how the awareness is moving up the back. Feel for it on your body. Try to keep your body soft and relaxed, not tense. Relax the shoulders. Just keep checking in with yourself. Let a little bit of your witnessing awareness check in with, am I holding my breath? Am I tensing my shoulders? Can I relax everywhere? Relax in the mind too. We'll go on to the next one. This is the center to periphery, the yin and yang, Kai and Her. See if you can make what happens in the hands by what's happening in your belly and your rib cage and your pelvis, not from the shoulders, but deep inside. Become indifferent to your hands. The hands are the end of the whip. They're the result. So you do this from your core. These are core practices. See if you can draw in, vacuum in. Everything's coming along. So in this one, we have the main joint of the body in these practices is the dantian. It's this etheric joint. It's right on the zongding. It's right on that center line of the body, just below the navel, really at the center. And this is a two-way valve. During the yin phase, it vacuums. It's drawing in from all directions in. It's not kind of compressing on itself. There's plenty of internal space. There's internal spaciousness inside of us. During the yang phase, it's blowing open. The whole system blows open together, not just the belly first and then the legs, but the whole system. So as soon as you start turning it over, even in the armpits are opening, opening, opening. Even the wrist is opening, the throat is opening. And then draw in. As you come up, feel the ribs as we'll do the next yang. Feel the ribs separating and opening together. Feel all the way through, not like a wave, but as a system. So with the dantian being the main joint of the body, two-way valve, you have the 4 points. Get the 4 points to work. The legs, shoulders enter. See if those can work right on time. So this is a way to unify your whole body. Let the awareness become very convergent, coherent. Goal is to get the body and mind together, just like a beautiful gown or nice piece of clothing that fits you perfectly. When the 4 points function, think of the 5 points: the hands, the feet, the head top. You're doing the exact same thing that the dantian is doing, that the 4 points are doing. The deeper you get into the practice, the more you can investigate these harmonies, they're called. Harmonies of the body. We'll go on to the next one. Benbo. Shoot. Simply put, bend. Straighten. Yin. Yang. So think of the bending is the yin, the vacuum turning on, and the 4 points, the 5 points, the dantian. In the yang phase, there's 2 places that I'd like you to really focus on at first. Pulling down from the coccyx up from your head top simultaneously. Try to balance those so that they're smooth, that the upper and lower are smooth. This is kind of what's happening in the spine. So the coccyx is the beginning of this understanding. But really, it's the legs being pulled from the feet bottom down. Keep the elbows and the wrists parallel. So don't keep the hands together in front of your body, but keep them parallel. So the wrists have to stay away, stay on the channels. Keep the wrist on the channel. Wrist on the channel, yeah. That's good, Susan, yeah, great. This is the primary paradigm for storing and releasing energy of your opponent. We bend and straighten, we bend to kind of create the potential energy, straighten as we release the potential energy. And then let the hand settle. We'll go on to the next one. Sink all the weight to the right. Anchor the lower hand and then open. Continuous. Drive the hand by the legs and torso. Don't overdo it. Do less in your arm. Do less in your arm. Want everybody to focus on the yin phase. Suck in and stop at the yin phase. Stop. Follow Allie. Stop at the yin phase. Get all the weight over there. Want you to feel you're all drawn in. Connect with that lower hand and leave it connected. And then stretch away. Open the body. To the other side. So really, when you complete yin, really staple the lower hand in place in space and stretch around it. Feel the stretch come out of that place. Don't let it move around too much. It will still rotate, but the center of the Laogung should be real stable in space. As you open, this will create the twisting and spiraling through the tissue of the body. Don't push that upper hand out. Let the upper hand come out because of the torso and legs. Resist, push that hand out. Resist it. Pull the upper hand down by sucking into the new leg. There's not a lot of motion in the hand. It's really good, Allie. So try to resist acting locally in your body. Act globally in the body. And we'll go and just center the weight and we'll go on to the next one. And so this next one is the spinal stretch. So this is not about touching your toes. It's about articulating the spine. Go ahead, Felix, and you can lead. And just from the lower part of the spine, start. And we have 25 vertebrae. We have 24 vertebrae. If you add the occiput, that's 25 points. If you add the sacrum, it's 26. I think it's a good idea to If you have a partner who can help you breathe and articulate into your spine and feel the spine, that's great. If not, you can count. You can count and just go all the way over. When you get all the way over, your hands might be about at the level of the knees. That's great. Maybe up a little higher. Imagine somebody just gently pushing on your sternum to open the back more. And to sit up, I want you to think about your pelvis. I want you to think about the size of your pelvis, and I want you to feel this continuously pushing down, as if the coccyx is pointing down into earth through the bubbling well, and it's pushing down to straighten you. Something's going down to straighten you, so that there's continuous motion in the pelvis. Pelvis is this rolling structure. Okay, you've got one under your belt. Now you can do a little bit less and articulate more. Do a little bit less. You've got one in the creel, so this one's all gravy. Hold on to the neck until you get up there. If you have weakness in your back, I would really suggest doing less deflection of the spine and just try more articulation. For instance, the heart level is about anywhere from the 10th to the 12th, 13th maybe vertebrae, that area. At the top, C7 would be 18. Big knuckle, the big vertebrae on the neck. So try to get to know your body a little bit. Get your awareness out of your brain, out of your thoughts. And then sit down. Put your awareness in the pelvis. You have no shoulder and head, you have a pelvis. The pelvis will do it. The pelvis will straighten you. Nice and easy. Continuous motion in the pelvis. And then we'll go on to the last one. And this, the feet splay out somewhat, okay? I call this one up and down. So I want you to attend to your zongding. Just bring your head up and down so the head top isn't rolling back and forth so much. And we'll begin with the hands at about the level of the groin. And we're going to use the exhalation and just release the air of your body and go into the earth. And then I want you to pull up by pulling in your belly up to dantian, or up to a perineum, and then drop down. So what I'm really interested in is using the condensing reverse breathing breath, and we'll just investigate the energy centers on the body coming up. And we'll do this first by letting the awareness get comfortable at the perineum. Just feeling that drawing in, that kind of thread-like drawing in, condensing, and then let it drop back down. Do one more of those. Nice, quiet head top. Looks really good, Felix. Then up to dantian, right above perineum. So see if you can get a relationship between the perineum and the dantian. Relax, let the breath open as you drop down, the legs open. Up to the solar plexus. Try to feel the connection between the dantian and the solar plexus, this little tube along the zongding, this connection at the center of your body. And then just let it open and drop straight back down. Let the awareness travel up and down. Feel what it feels like at the solar plexus. heart now. Straight down. So there's this gentle kind of compression. It's not packing, it's just letting the breath kind of focus in at the heart and then just releasing. Go up a little higher into the tube of the throat, at the base of the throat, just above, at the tube of the throat. Feel it in the tube. Still on Zongding. Excellent. Keep the chin out. Try to keep the head real quiet, straight up and down. So as you come down, be aware if your body's coming forward. Try to just be up and down. That's better. Good. Yeah. And then this last one at the level of your eyes, but actually closer to the ear. I mean, it's back in the center of the head, the pineal gland. So we're really going up and down now. So be careful as you come down, not to sink your body mass forward. Still attend to the Zongding, right into the third eye. Relax. And take it to the head top. Just to the top of the head, right above, just almost right above the ears. A little bit behind the fontanelle that we see in children, babies. Then let it go through your head top up to heaven, and it'll just dissolve. It'll just naturally dissolve. Don't rush that process. Just let it go up. When it kind of dissolves, you'll see it turns the turnaround time. Again, attend to the Zongding. Couple more. And then just let the hands settle. Cover Dantian. Try not to fidget around. Just let your body deal with if it's feeling like it wants to shake. Just let it be as it is. And so we're going to sink the effect of the practice deep inside the body into Dantian. The Dantian means the planting ground of the seed of immortality. This is a fertile area, so we want to just sink that energy. How are we going to sink it? We're going to use our mind and our breath. So the point is to put the breath and the mind together in the Dantian, and we can do this by using the exhalation to just gently sink in. Each subsequent exhalation, it sinks deeper, very sponge-like. And let your mind just detach from all practice for a moment. Let's be quiet. Float in that spaciousness. Float in the unknown. Okay, thank you. We can convene for a moment. If there's, if there's any questions come to mind. I think some folks have muted themselves. I've unmuted everybody, but I see that some are still muted. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question, or if you don't, you can just stay muted.
I have a question.
Okay.
Somewhere in the beginning, I became aware and didn't know whether there was a shift in pressure or weight from heels to soles. As kind of unfolding, it went into heels. As we collapsed, folded it more into the soles, just slightly. Is that part of it, or is that?
You may, so I think you're referring to the second Qigong, and you may have some of that. Yeah, that's okay to experience that. Nice, and you can just watch what happens.
Okay.
Typically, for the first one, we can often you can draw up either the front or the back of the foot. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can draw in through the heel and down, let the energy exit through the bubbling well if you want. So the answer to that is there is no right answer, but you can play with it and see it. Where we want to be descending right through the center of the foot is in the last Qigong. And to be stable in the Zongding. So I always imagine this one, the last Qigong in particular, as imagine you had like nitroglycerin and you were carrying nitroglycerin. You don't want to jiggle it, okay? It wants to be real stable. And the more stable you can keep Zongding, the better. It's hard. When you're dropping down, the tendency is to rock forward as you drop down and to come back. And so watching yourself or having a partner kind of touch your head top and spot you a little bit. I think it's right to assume that most of us wobble a little bit in this one, but try to keep your head, try to keep that quality of the Zongding right through the center of the foot on that one. So anything else? Any other questions? Does anybody have a question about putting the mind and the breath together in the Dantian at the end of the practice? Does that feel pretty comfortable?
Pennies in the bank. Is that what Ben said?
Yeah. Ben would call that putting the pennies of your practice into the piggy bank of your body. Yeah. That's his use. Okay, well, we have a little bit more time, and I want to just, we'll go over a few of the 9 bridges and the 7 integrations, but I want to just review simple walking for a moment. Let's put myself on mute. Thank you very much, Felix and Allie, again. I'll mute everybody for a sec. And I'll just face you for a moment to kind of go over some of these qualities of the simple walking. So the simple walking is, imagine like Ray would often kind of stomp and then he would step. So I'm stomping with my right foot, I'm stepping with my left foot, I'm turning to the left, and I'm squeezing down. As I'm squeezing, there's a rotation. If you can see my right hand, the thumb is kind of rotating. The left hand is rotating simultaneously. So let's see if I can do this. So they're going this way. So if you can see I'll try to make it so you can see both hands. So the rotation is right through my body, so that my arms become this big turning mechanism that's going to twist the tissue of my body and connect. And this is what is intended in this guy. And so if you don't have a lot of room to move around your house, I would say just go like this here, step, and go the other side, step. So you can basically do this in place, turn. The other thing is turn the chin, turn the eyes, so all the tissue in the upper part of the body starts kind of organizing as well. So let's do this together. I'll stand with my back to you so you can just look at your own computer and just do it right with me. This is called simple walking. It's a really good full body stretch. And I mean, if you do this 5 minutes a day, you'll start really getting this great connection in your body. So we're going to start with just hold your stance here. We'll step with the right foot and then step out with the left, no weight, and then feel the left quad. Take your left hand and just feel like you're pulling through there. Then this part of the body, the sacrum, feel like this is pulling out and stretching out this way. Simultaneously, I'm turning and I'm looking back behind my foot. I'm going to step with my left foot, turn to the right, step. So this is intended to awaken and connect to the fascia. Really feel everything. Move the thumbs together. Move the thumbs, press out. Relax. So don't tense the body, but see if you can stretch it. So this is a little tough to do without putting tension in your body, especially the shoulders. So get to about here and see if you can relax the shoulders and then spiral. Step and come through. Step and come through. Okay. Simple walking. This is part of the Jiebengung. It's intended to organize the whole body. So we're not just using certain parts of the body, but from this is part of John's iron wires. And so this is something we want to be cultivating. All right, so we're going to do a few of John's things in the last 10 minutes or so. And so I asked John, what should we work on, John? There's a lot in your book. He said, okay, work with the 9 bridges and the 7 integrations. Okay, no problem. So we're going to work with the 9 bridges, and we'll work with the first 3. We've done, some of us have done the cross bridges, and I want to just point out some aspect of this. We have this thing called the tiger's eye, okay? And imagine I have a little washer that's connected with a string, and so that the tiger's eye is going to be pulling from the tiger's eye. Okay, so this is when we have a fist, this tiger's eye, we're going to pull from this part, and that'll have a certain effect on the body. The other thing is we have these points here. I want to be pulling from this knuckle, this one. So it's Lao Gong, it's the middle knuckle here, and it's on the back side of this, okay? It's a lot of energy. Excuse me for a minute, but this has a lot of energy, so you know what I mean. So this, I want you to feel that this is, we're pulling from the hand, and it has an effect. You can see my tendons kind of light up here when I do it. So we're going to pull from this tiger's eye and this second knuckle. And this first one, cross bridges, has 3 positions in it. Okay, let me see if I can show this to you. Now we can face each other this way. You can just face me. So this first position, this one feels like you've got a big, I don't know, it feels like you've got something big, like a big keg of beer or some big object in front of you. And we're going to come through here like this. And I want to be pulling, so I'm pulling, it's in front, it's low in front of my body. And then I want to be pulling from the tiger's eye, pulling. So the pulling is coming from this part of the spine. Actually, I'll show this picture one more time. Everybody look at the book here for a second. This picture here, can you see it? Yes, you can. All right, so imagine that little spot. It's at the lower end of the jade gate, I would say. It's basically the jade gate, and we're stretching away from that spot. John calls that the power nexus, the power source, the hub, uses words like that. And so we want to be pulling and stretching from there. So I'm going to pull my hands. I don't think it matters which one comes on top. Bring them here and just feel like both my knuckle and my tiger's eye are pulling away. And just feel it and release it. So these aren't, John says, don't overdo it on these. Don't hurt yourself, don't overstretch, but just look for the connection. So cross, we'll do it in front of you now. Cross low, cross high. Cross to the side. So feel pulling, and feel how that spirals down the arm. Out to that power hub on your back. Relax. Shake it out. Just do a few of these. Cross low. Cross high. Separate. Pull from the knuckles, pull from the tiger's eye. Relax, relax, shake it out. Cross low. Feel the power hub. Feel those lines from the power hub. Bring them up higher. Stretch, pull and stretch. Feel that stretching. Feel how it goes through the back. Then pull them apart this way. Elbows stay right above those joints. Great, shake it out, shake it out. Okay, the next one we're gonna do is double palm down. What do we call it? Double drop palms. Okay, and this one elbows are gonna be just below the height of the shoulder. And it's gonna come out and just rotate and feel that connection. So push, the rotation is down with the thumbs down. Okay. Feel the connection into the power hub. Relax. Feel the connection into the power hub. Relax. So this, I want you to, so this shouldn't be loose. It should really feel like you've got it. Okay. All right. And then the next one we're going to do is double upright palms. And this is slightly different. You're going to keep the, let's see, this way, here. We're going to keep it this way here. But, so so the elbow's down now. Okay, the elbow's down, palms are up. The rotation is this way. So palms up, pull your thumbs down slightly. So they'll so keep the elbows in and down, rotate in. Okay. Rotate in. Rotate in. One more. Relax, relax. Don't overdo these. Rotate in. Okay. The first of the 7 integrations are stretches on the back. And this one, I want you to imagine you have from your heel up to the top of your head, and you're stretching that whole length. I'm going to go with my back to you on this one. we're just going to keep the arms out so that the power hub can be open. But this one is less interested in the power hub. It's really interested in connecting from the heel to the head top. The hands are going to be out sort of in front. And put a little bend in your knees and then lengthen and feel pulling from heel up to head top. Heel up to head top. Relax. Heel to head top. Heel to head top. Okay. Now we're going to do something called cross bridge. We're going to take from the right heel up to our left skull. So from that heel up to this side and to this side here, the tip of my shoulder, the heel here. So there's going to be stretching that way, and we're going to stretch the other way from this side. So the left side is going to stretch up to the right part. Hands will stay out in front of the body, still like this. So stretch the right up to the left skull, left shoulder tip, right up to the right. So feel that crossing. Okay, relax. Put a little flexion in the legs, this will help get the stretch going, and then straighten. So this one up to the left side. So we cross. These are cross bridges. Okay, one more time. Right into the skull, right into the kind of the occiput, one stretch, and then out to the shoulder tip. From the right heel, and then from the left heel, same thing on the other side. So there's this quality of stretching across the body. All right, just relax. That's going to be good enough for that. All right, so this week, if you get a chance, I would say do a little simple walking. Do a little bit of that simple walking, that's stretching your body. Try the simple walking. And if you haven't, you know, honestly, the spinal qigong, fantastic practice. It really, and just getting your whole body to open and integrate, harmonize. That's going to be a goal for everybody, I would hope. And so you can feel that all throughout your body. Any questions on any of that stuff we just did? Go ahead, Randall.
Yeah, Bill. So on the simple walking, the gaze at the end of each move, I guess, goes to the rear heel of the opposite foot.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the rear heel, the heel of the opposite foot.
Yeah. So you're just feel like you're and we're going to get to one of John's 7 integrations next week. He'll be kind of spiraling sort of that way too. So we'll try that next week. But yeah, that's the way it does. And be interested to see, you know, what happens when you, I mean, so typically we want to align the nose and the navel. This time we want to turn this, so we're getting this rotation through this part of the body, and then using the gaze as well. And that kind of engages some of the small muscles in the face, but also down into the neck as well.
I found it easier doing it in place, and therefore more beneficial by doing it in place instead of actually walking, where I had to engage my balance.
Right. Okay. Ultimately, I think, you know, getting the balance going on that one too will be good, because, and this is the thing about practicing, Taoism is a walking around philosophy. It's a philosophy that doesn't live just in like meditation rooms or anything like that. I mean, it's so what I'm saying this for is practice in a variety of situations and conditions, including difficult ground to manage. I think, you know, uneven ground is a good place to practice sometimes, because it's easy to throw our balance off, and we want to be balanced doing things. Even on difficult terrain, we want to be balanced. So I would say you're right. It's good to kind of become confident and understand what's happening, but train in a variety of kind of conditions. It's train when you're tired, train when you're happy, train when you're sad. You know, so train in a variety of conditions, just so your body can stabilize in a variety of places. That would be a goal, but anybody else? Okay, well, I'll see some of you on Saturday, and I'll see some of you next week, and it's nice to see everybody.
Good to
Thanks,
see
Mel.
Linda and Allie.
And Allie and Felix, what special ladies those two are. Yeah,
Yay!
yeah, right. Woo-hoo-hoo. A
Thank
lot of
you.
people.
I may
Yeah.
go see you next week because I will be in a place that has very poor reception. So I'll
Okay,
be catching up with the video.
okay, that's great. All right, adios, everybody.